Come on in, come on in, come on in to this chat this morning. All right, guys,
Come on
get
in, come
yourselves
on
settled
in, come
down.
on in to this chat this morning.
I've got duplicate sound. That's okay. Sometimes I need to hear myself say what I'm saying, but that's okay. Have yourselves a moment to settle in, and I would like to quickly welcome you to this little off the wall YouTube channel that I am slowly working my way into in being a little bit more intentional and understanding how these broadcasts work and some of the wonderful benefits of them. But I want you to know that I do this from time to time simply because I enjoy it. With that being said, I do hope that you are able to support me by clicking on the thumbs up button. Hit subscribe if you remember. And here's the strange thing about subscribe. Periodically check your subscriptions in YouTube just to make sure you stay subscribed. Often people will have conversations that show they think they're subscribed to something and then they find out they're not. Also, feel free to hit the notification bell or set it up so that when we do pop online or when we do come on live, that you get a little notification that somebody is having something going on in a chat. And maybe it'll be a reminder that, hey, I'm here, so you can jump in and see what's going on. As for those of you who might be popping in and out from Troll Land, please feel free to join in and drop a comment here or there because your likes are counted too. Your clicks are also counted. We live here in world of clickland, so feel free. Um, take your anger and surely make it my benefit. In that vein, let me tell you what this channel is. Welcome to All for Success. Now, that's success with an X because sometimes I'll mention something else or throw in something else that is outside of my support and my observation of the world of the Sussex family. Now, I want you all to be aware I am a supporter of the Sussex family from the viewpoint of a parent of adult children. Actually, Harry and Meghan, in essence, they could be my children, right? And when I look at my actual children, they're in relationships and married and they have kids. And, there are things that when I look at them as a mother, I definitely can sympathize and feel how Miss Doria would probably feel and react to the attacks that they are constantly under just for wanting to be themselves. Now, that's important to remember. In this world, you will be under attack for simply wanting to be who you are and do what you want to do. Now, of course, in the world, that is within reason, correct? Now, just keep that in mind. So I like to throw that out there. I hope that you all are here and enjoying yourselves so far. And welcome to 2026 because it's going to be a doozy of a year. But we're going to just keep working. Remember, the important part of my context and my chat mentality is to continue to maintain to put one foot in front of the other. Yes, life is always a struggle. Yes, things are always difficult. But if there's one thing watching the work and the lives of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will teach you, is that you simply must continue every day to put one foot again in front of the other to reach your destiny. Okay, here in this particular world, we're going to talk a little bit about destiny. What does that mean to you? Some people want to kind of delve into the woo woo aspect of it. And I don't really go that far down. But on the surface, sometimes you have a feeling within at various stages in your life that you are either doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you may feel that you are doing something so completely not what you should be doing that you're actually angry all the time. upset all the time. You're not quite sure where you're supposed to be or sit or stand. You just basically you're uncomfortable. And what that kind of indicates in the old world language or in the woo woo language is that perhaps you are not in line with what is your destiny. And that is a very intriguing question. So we're going to delve into that a little bit. I like to talk about, sometimes I get off track. You guys bear with me. Please, I appreciate it, but try to bear with me. Um, if you feel sometimes like, I don't know what I'm doing, what is the point of all of this? You'll hear comments or statements like that, especially from the teenager, young adult um, crowd. And I know I said it to myself often, growing up and trying to figure out why things maybe did or did not work out. Why, if I attempted something in particular, it wouldn't turn out like I thought it would. You know, for example, I may have thought at one point, oh, I can sing, right? Or I thought, I felt myself being able to sing. And I went to, this is a crazy story. I went to choir practice one day, and that, in our church, we would have choir practice on Saturday mornings. And we were practicing and we were having fun. I probably was somewhere between the age of 14, maybe to 16. Silly me, teenager, having fun, laughing, joking with the person next to me. We were giggling and doing our teenage girl thing. And I remember an older woman in the choir. She was maybe a lady of maybe at that time, probably in her, I'm going to say maybe 20s. I know she was past high school. And she was so angry at the fact that we were laughing and playing. And she targeted me, I think, of course, because probably I was the loudest. And she was like so upset and angry that we were there giggling and laughing and playing around. And for her, from her point of view, she was there to try to be in the choir and be serious about her service in church. And I remember at that time I thought, that her attack was really the type that it really hurt your feelings. It was like just pointing out, and you're acting like this or that, and you're clowning around. And, I'm trying to be serious and I'm trying to be involved in this work here, this service to the church. And that particular interaction it wasn't the first interaction, but it was amongst many like that really put me off in my interest in the choir. Now, I had an interest. Why? Because I felt like I could sing fairly well. But that interaction, that negative interaction, really put me off, to the point where maybe I would go to choir practice, maybe not. Maybe I would sing on Sunday, maybe not. And it got to the point where, I just started to find other things to do, better places to go, more interesting things to be involved with. And you know what in hindsight is interesting? Is that when my interest would fall off in a particular area, or I might drop off in a particular um, adventure, I noticed that there were always two, three, or four other people. Not that we were friends, like, they did exactly what I did, but there were people that would, along the way, tend to drift off as well. So, what is hindsight kind of indicating to me in that particular interaction? I fell for the, I guess, situation that when criticized or when feeling attacked or when feeling like I am not appreciated, I fell into that void of losing interest in what I was interested in, losing interest in moving forward to the goal that I wanted to achieve, right? And it's interesting because there are several stories like this in my own, what I call childhood slash teenagehood. I did that often, that sometimes I would be prickled by an interaction where someone came to me and I felt it was a very negative interaction in what I was doing or attempting to do or something I was trying to achieve. But it was enough of a negative interaction to make me lose interest slash lose hope or lose my direction in something I may have wanted to pursue. What am I talking about? Why am I talking about it? Well, Harry and Meghan, oopsie daisy. I'm going through my slides a little too fast. Harry and Meghan hear this all the time, every day, all day long. There are newspapers and people who are doing the very same thing that I felt was done to me as a teenager. And for them, the scale is magnified 1,000 times, right? And what I'm learning from them, even at my age, right, is that I did not have to put it down. I didn't have to, what I would call, shrink away. I could have stood, grown to my, what did he say? Stood up, sucked in more air, increased my size, and attacked back by being successful at it. But I didn't know to do that. I didn't have the, I would say, the gumption to do that. And I don't think I felt that I had the support in life to do that. But watching the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and watching this encounter with this phenomenal force against them, it is really teaching me. I am truly being taught. And it's unfortunate because now the outcome of what I have learned, it goes out in directions 360 degrees, which means I've now begun to develop and actually utilize that enhanced armor around everybody. You know, it's kind of like the kids often say, oh, everybody can get it. And so I have to sometimes temper it. But when I decided, for example, I said, oh, I wanted to learn about voice work. Aside from my own layers of procrastination, what I did not need from anyone else is, oh, that's too hard. It's too difficult. That's such a saturated field. You might not do much work. And okay, all of that. I didn't need any of that. Right? Now, along with came maybe the support. Oh, I like your voice. Oh, this is great. You'll have fun doing it. Okay, great. But just stepping out on faith to do anything, it's going to be met, especially if you ask for someone's opinion slash advice. It's going to be met with, well, the yeah, the well, the maybe, oh, well, but if it's going to be met with that automatically. And in some cases, you might be in the midst of doing the work and enjoying the work you're doing and trust, just like at choir practice, in the midst of that, someone may point out how irritated they are simply by your being who you're being, whether you're joking, laughing, or enjoying it, or having fun with people doing it. They're going to be irritated. You're not taking it seriously enough. You're not doing it the right way and all that. So I know. Do I digress here? Yes, I do. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when you put your hands, fingers, and feet and body forward to pursue whatever that is you are going to pursue. Sure, procrastination, which is, my middle name, and Oh, I'm tired, which is also another name that I have. Oh, maybe I should take a nap first. All of that is going to be there, right? But if you are able to push over those things, pursue what it is you want to pursue, i.e., it might be your destiny. So here's the question in the Harry and Meghan soliloquy song and story. Perhaps it is their destiny to be challenged the way they are, to overcome those challenges in order to become what they are to become. It is perhaps their destiny. And perhaps they understand that in a way that I did not. Because there's no need to throw obstacles in front of you when you are doing nothing. There is no need for opposition to come to you if you're not actually moving forward, right? There is no requirement for an oppositional force to engage when you are not causing any type of, I would say, tide movement in your destiny. So I love that thought process. Depending on, even if you think about destiny in terms of woo woo ness, or what I call the occultness, or even if you think of just moving forward in your life and moving towards what you perceive to be where you want to be comfortable, where you want to feel like you're doing what you should be doing. Now, should be doing feeling. What does that feel like? Well, it probably feels like I'm excited to go do that thing, even though there are aspects to this work that I don't want to do, right? Like I may not want to go out and run 2 miles in 13 degrees. But if I'm a marathon runner and I love running marathons, and running marathons is what? My destiny. I'm going to go outside in 13 degrees and run that 2 miles because the outcome is going to be so much more beneficial. Harry and Meghan, they feel the place in the world that they want to occupy. They know that, at least from our viewpoint, they want to occupy that space where they encourage other people to keep pursuing the things they want to pursue in life. They also tell us and show us daily that they are interested in helping other people get to what they want to get to in life. The young people who want to be leaders in their field, the people who want to help feed and clothe those who need it. That's who they're surrounded by. They're surrounded by people and organizations that are doing that. So obviously, that is what they feel their destiny is, what they are called to do. Harry says it all the time. He, in a sense, probably felt it as a kid growing up, and his mother being a very large component in that mindset. What she could do to help some people who are very vulnerable and very weak feel better, even if it was just a one time interaction. His mother basically achieved that. And I'm certain that when you're looking at Harry and Meghan, that is probably something they feel very deeply. So, as I pass through some of these slides that I have here, we've seen these thoughts and conversations before. People who are talking about wanting, in the UK, from the media point of view, wanting abdications to happen, wanting people to have titles removed, being a critic of all types of um, methodologies, how much they hate everything Harry and Meghan do and stand for. And people around the world who have the vision, because people who do not have this vision, to be honest with you, I don't know what they are, right? And I say that in a very woo-woo kind of way. For people who cannot understand the vision, the determination, and the need for many people to be in a community that helps, supports, and serves. For people who cannot grasp that or are dedicated to tearing that down, I don't know what those are, right? You can investigate on your own what it is you think that origin is. For example, the UK tabloid media. They print and destroy everything and every aspect of people who are trying to do good things. And they're constantly telling you and trying to paint a picture for the rest of the world that the people who are trying to do good things are bad. Imagine that. Take a second and think about that. That the picture from their point of view is to plaster across tabloid media on every front page 6 or 7 UK talk shows a day, where they have to mention every single morning for at least 10 to 15 minutes how bad Harry is and his awful wife, Meghan. How awful these two people are. And you can't find anything that they do other than help people with food kitchens, help people in disasters, help support various causes, and donate to various organizations. And yet, their entire television, radio, TV, TV, radio space, tabloid media space is filled with how awful they are. And the words always associated: distasteful, how this person is trying to do something to the king, destroy the royal family, upset some particular family member. That's plastered all over their news and publications. And yet, the one thing that the rest of the world can see and observe, they can see and observe 100,000%, is that these people support, donate, love working with young people, organizations that are doing good things, and supporting people who are doing hard work. And they are relentless at it. And then throw on top of that, they each love moving forward in various little business ventures as it is allowed, right? And that they are fairly successful at it. If there's one thing the Duchess was very much aware of as a young person growing up, the way she grew up, trying to continue to work the way she continued to try to work. One thing she knew for a fact, and this is something that most of us who come from working families, even if we don't practice it, we see it, we understand it, is that you must continue to have a method to support yourself, right? So we're now in a world where people use the terminology multiple streams of income. And if there's one thing that that young lady learned immediately, whether it was selling lemonade and Girl Scout cookies or whatever it was, is that you had to work for a living. And how does the UK royal media machine, how do they cast that? How do they cast that? Is that she needed to use the monarchy to work. Now, imagine that. A 40-plus-year-old woman working all of her life. However, she needed the monarchy to work. Is that ridiculous? I think it is, but it's amazingly ridiculous. Okay, now I've been blathering on and on and on. And again, let me remind you, I'll take a moment, take a pause. Please hit the like button. Please share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell so that you know when we are here running this mouth of mine for the point of enjoying the gathering with all of you. So let's see who's here in the chat this morning or who made it this morning already. Let me see if we got anybody here in the chat. Hold on a second. Okay, technology is something I've got to work with on a day-to-day basis. All right, so who's here? First up, it looks like Miss Joyce Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's all welcome Joyce Anderson here this morning. Thank you so much for being here. And you have good morning to All for Success and everyone else. I am honored to be here with you fabulous people. You don't know the honor. You do not understand what honor is. Thank you so much for sharing that. I see that there is a thumbs up over here from, it looks like Gloria C. 4115. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it that you are in the chat. Look, I am so, you guys, super chatties. When I see the super squatties in here, hey, I know something's going on. I know something's happening when the super squatties are here. Now, here we have What BS is this? And this is from at LOS. Okay, I do hope you're still in the chat because I want you to know what BS is this? It's exactly what I announced it was at the beginning of the chat. Now, this is what I love, and I do hope you hang on in here and stay a while. Anti squatties, people who do not like Princess Diana. They don't like Harry. They don't like Meghan. They think everything UK royal is the best, whatever. I'm glad that you're here. And I want to reach out to you and give you one of the warmest of welcomes. And the reason being is exactly what I just went over, and described. You see, you and people like you are the antithesis of our wonderful world. Your need to say something negative. You see that description that I gave about my choir practice thing? It does it not? Does it not highlight exactly what that is? You see, the beauty of a person that sat down and needed to type, what BS is this? Where should you be? What should you be doing instead of doing that? Right? Again, back to destiny. Is that your destiny? Is just to watch other people from the sidelines and just be angry, be mad, be upset. Now, of course, if that click earned you money, okay, I'm all for it. If that's the case, notice that I do have a Cash App address in my feed. Feel free. If you make money, go ahead and drop me a buck. I don't mind. And I can come on here every week so that you can click in, say something negative. And if you make money from it, fine. Just kick me $1. All right. I'd appreciate that. Okay. But if it's not that is the case, if instead the case is that it's more about your mental state, then what I would do is encourage you to go talk to some people who are positive. Find someone that might be able to help you understand who you are, what it is in life you could be doing. Now, where I am, it's cold and it's Sunday. So most people are getting ready to go to Sunday school. And if you're getting yourself dressed and ready, you would be on time. Okay, I'm just pointing that out for folks who are not paying attention. But for those of you who instead, your job, your duty is to come into the spaces of people sharing good things, people sharing upbeat news about Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, or the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which dukedoms, that's a pretty big deal. But if your job is to see how can I tear them down, then you need to ask yourself, What exactly is your destiny? Where will this take you? And I would love if you wish to comment on what it is you think you're going to achieve. I would love to hear it. I really would. I would love to know how your mind works. Okay. Now, that being said, let's jump in here. I'm going to click through a few of these slides because I know you guys have heard me talk about these people. I don't know if you know these folks' names. I'm just going to yell them out as their caption comes up. Here we have Ben Shapiro. He's a very well known commenter in the political slash conservative spaces. And we have, of course, our wonderful person who seems to know everything about what is racially acceptable and what isn't, Megyn Kelly, who often speaks in the conservative spaces, but also, like many people, they are learning, right? Just like in the UK royal family, they are becoming aware that everything that you tied yourself to that was negative, you claim that you tied yourself to it because you were supporting it, it too will turn and try to eat you. And as I'm flipping through these slides, that is what these people have in common. So Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, um, Kelsey, not as much, but in the same vein. All of the things that she supported, all of the people, I say ideals in the US, she's here in the US, so she's supposed to be the voice of America and the Americans' opinion of Prince Harry and Meghan, right? But as these people move through their world, Mackenzie, right? Kenzie, I think her name is. She, like the first two above, are finding that the world they have hitched themselves to is the same world that is going to attack and eat them. It's again doubling and going back to my choir rehearsal situation. There will always be an entity in that environment that will try to focus on you and what you're doing and bring you down. Whether they have a point to make or not, we have to reach in, take their point, see if it applies, but make what we do better. And then we have our wonderful Candace Owens, same thing, coming from that political, usually conservative space. Same thing, in common. Loved and darling, held up on a pedestal, how much we loved and embraced, and then now being excoriated by the very machine that they built, right? By the very world they created, the world of commenting negatively about all these other people and telling wild, outlandish stories about other people in order to gain their fame by tearing other people down. And each one of them had the same experience. Is that that very machine that they helped to build, that very, as we would say, pyramid that they constructed, it turned around and tried to eat them as well. This is what, again, the story of Harry and Meghan will teach you. Shanda, Sophia Shanduka, who was supportive or supposedly supportive of the charity, but it would appear was there for financial benefit, right? She created that scene of here's what Harry and Meghan did wrong that destroyed this charity, and I'm going to make it work. What was the actual reason? Well, as time will tell, it appears so that she could use the charity as her own personal ATM. These are her new board members, right? I don't know much about these individuals, but I know they're probably trying to figure out if they should stay, hang around, be seen, or disappear into the sunset, right? I know they're trying to figure that out. In the meantime, they're going to be associated with that negativity. And again, all of these folks, the one thing they have in common, is that the world they constructed, the world they built to slam and slather the Duke and Duchess with as much negativity as possible, that world that they constructed is turning around to try to destroy them as well. And the main point is, it's certainly not there to try to help you. Okay, that is for sure. Now, I'm going to take a quick moment. It's not a break, but I'm going to show you in a quick moment this little wonderful dance moment that Harry and Meghan had because they were recreating their dance moment during their reception and how long ago that has been. They were talking about that being 2016, I think, right? So look at where we are in or 2016 or 2018, but look at where we are in this relationship. We're now at about the 10-year mark. And yet the UK media story hasn't changed. Every other week, they're still waiting for the breakup. That's still in the headlines. Every other week, Meghan has done something that Harry dislikes. That's another headline, right? Soon, Harry and Meghan will be forced out of California by the current administration. That's also a headline, as if they can't go to 6 other continents, right? Remember, they can leave, they can live anywhere. It won't make any difference, right? Look at what she's doing with her company. She's still managing, moving. And at the moment, you can't stop that. But that doesn't mean that the UK tabloid media will not try. They're going to try their best to make every bit of that seem negative. Okay, so before I get to that, before I do that little wonderful show, let me click again to see who's here. One more time. Joyce Anderson, I love it. You remind me that a click is a click. That's what I'm saying. Yes, ma'am. If you want to get in here and be negative, that's fine. Nowadays, like I told you, I'm hard now, right? When I was a teenager, it took me off my path. But now you're dealing with a different version. And like I said, how the young folks say it, everybody can get it. I love this. Y'all know I say that all the time now. Oh, okay. JCED. I'm gonna say that's JCEDA. I'm guessing. JCEDE 304 says thanks for sharing. Well, look, thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you. You again, you guys, I can't say thank you enough. Thank you. Please, I promise to do a better job as the time goes on. But I've been promising that for a while. So I'm going to keep doing it. But I want you all to know I am so grateful that you at least even stopped by just to jump in. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me. Let's see if I got this name right. Okay, it says Lily Bell Grant. All right. Good morning to you as well. And she says, please pray for Prince Harry. He's in the UK for that court case. Oh my gosh. Against the fail and the mail on Sunday. Let's all pray for justice for Harry and all the other claimants. I don't have like a lot of things prepared for this particular thing coming up. I do know that he has that court case coming up, which is to finish with hopefully the last tabloid, hopefully. And this is one, of course, where I believe the employees at that time did include Piers Morgan. The only thing I wanted to mention on the last side of that is this. The interesting thing about this particular case is the differences in what is UK justice system versus how we see things and how things work in the American justice system. The way they report that Prince Harry is gonna be has to testify as if he is actually the perpetrator of a crime, and the language that they use, that is how they tell their story on the UK tabloid media side. Whereas basically he has to go and give his side of the story or answer the questions for the things that he is going to report happened to him, right? And in that way, it's interesting that the UK world, it is seen as he has to basically, he is the one treated as if he is the wrongdoer, right? So, for example, these media groups apparently stalked people, wiretapped people, listened to your voice messages, paid police officers for inside information. And this is the accusation. However, the person saying that that happened is the bad guy, right? So what that does is, yes, we're going to keep our eye on that and we're going to watch how that works. And then we're going to top it off before I play them dancing. Thank you. I appreciate, again, we have another negative comment. I love it. And this one is supposed to be from Pie in the Sky 4106. Okay, I love that name, Pie in the Sky. I would like to pat you on the back for that. Thank you for being here. Please hit the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever button you want to hit, okay? And please share, like, and call all your other friends to subscribe. Why? Because I need the numbers. I would appreciate the numbers, so like you, perhaps I can become an earner in this environment. So thank you for this comment. So you say Harry is a traitor. Okay, let's deal with that real quick before I do the dancing. Harry is a traitor, which means he would have had someone do harm to either the persons of the monarchy or the country in which he lives. In other words, he would have made a phone call to North Korea and said, go ahead and attack them. Okay, that is what a traitor is. Okay, let me help you understand what is not a traitor. A child who has been summarily, parentally neglected in exchange for an adulterer's side chick that destroyed his marriage, which wasn't a real marriage, right? Which wasn't going to be a marriage because he wanted his wife to simply be a breeding ground, and that the other individual was not suitable to be that breeding ground because she could not be trusted to have children by one individual. And this person is moved aside, his children, both of them, in order to continue up the ranks to become the royal leadership. But you call that person the traitor. Okay. That person, if they were a traitor, would have assembled an army like in the 1600s and had his knights in armor ride into the building and slaughter everyone so that he could reign. And just so you know, in the royal world of monarchy, that is actually what was expected. Okay? So let's hope we got that clear, because if he had done that, then perhaps your comment would make sense. But he didn't do that. Now let's skip along, and I see people in the I see people in the comments are helping you out. So let's move to the next thing. Meghan is a gold digger. So what? A woman who pursues better because she deserves better and who is also working. Perhaps you are confused. That term is usually assigned to a person who is laying on their back for a living, laying on their back, not working, laying on their back to marry, to get ahead. Let's Let's go through the brides of the royal family again. Let's see. Queen Camilla. What was her job? What did she do for a living? Queen Catherine. What's her job now? What was her vocation? Was she a teacher? Was she a nurse? What? What did she do? Okay. You mean she didn't get a paycheck? Did she ever get a paycheck? Uh-huh. Uh, let's do you want me to go on down the list down the line? Okay, because gold digger is usually applied to women who don't do nothing except lay on their bed. Okay. But Megan has been working since she was a teenager. Okay. So you might be confused at your terminology. And I tell you what, I'll give you an opportunity. You can go back and think about it. Okay. Okay. But gold digging, no. But looking forward for the best, yeah, she did do that. And why shouldn't she? I wouldn't recommend to my girls marry some deadbeat. Why would I do that? Okay. All right. I hope that helps. Anyway, thank you. Moving on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spend so much time on the Trollocs. Thank you so much, Lisa Williams. She says she just found the channel and she just subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the Trolloc also continued with that they turned against their family. Well, let's understand that. You can't turn against a family who didn't do you in. You can't turn against a family who don't treat you badly, like Megan's family. You can't turn against people who ain't doing you dirty, right? It's just that you want to support the people who are doing dirty. That's all. And I understand that that's where you at. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's wonderfully okay. You'll learn here in this realm. You will learn. Anyway, you guys, listen, enjoy the dance. Okay. And lastly, pie in the sky, let me let you understand. Lastly, trust. How you gonna betray the trust of people who have betrayed you all their lives? They sold him out every day for their own benefit since he was 10 years old. So how you going to betray that trust? It's not possible. Okay? But anyway, you go ahead and you think about those things. And thank you again for being here and hit that button on your way out. Maybe next time, if you get too talkative, I might have to block you. All right, check it out. Isn't that cute? Guys, twirl. Mm-hmm. All right. Twirl. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. That's what I know. We love to see love, and we're going to continue to watch them and support them no matter how these things play out. They're going to do good things. So, listen, folks, yes, I have taken up your morning. I hope you had your coffee. Is that it is time for me to let you go out of here, but I always have to throw a Bible verse at you. And I always tell you guys, this is not a cult. This is not a cult. Please do not feel like you are being thrashed or bashed or trying to be involved in something that is negative to your spirit. But I use Bible verses because as a kid growing up in that space, sometimes a thought will cross my mind as I read the Bible, or if I hear something, it will remind me of a Bible verse. And I think, hey, let me share this thought. Let me share this idea. Maybe someone else will be interested in what I'm thinking about. So here you go. This time, folks, we're going to come from Exodus 14:14. And here's why I'm saying this. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Now, remember, this verse reminds us that we can trust in God's projection and his intervention in our struggles. And I tell you, I believe we often see this amongst the world of our faves because no matter what they keep throwing at them, it turns around, it gets remolded, and it becomes useful to them. Lastly, okay, moving on, Deuteronomy 28:7 is the Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. What is that saying? What is that to give you a little bit of hope and insight? Is that people are going to come at you, but once you have the backing, of course, I'm in the spirit, thinking spiritually. Once you have the Lord's backing, they're going to have to get away from you any way they can. Okay? So keep that in mind. Even on the troll world, you keep coming at people. Remember, you will soon be running away any way that you can get away. Okay? So, you know what would probably be more beneficial is if you stopped being so hateful and trying to damage other people and instead looked for your destiny, right? Remember that, folks. Think about that. And I am hoping that each of you can remember that. Stay positive, stay focused, right? As we get ready to go, and stay strong. Thank you guys for being here.